And welcome to the workshop. Pardon the pun, but let's pump the brakes a little bit and look at this previous generation Seiko 5. Long nicknamed the Speed Racer, the Snkk27 is the blue dial variant. What really sets this watch apart is the bright yellow 20-minute register there. That is honestly a bit extraneous, but it really adds to that automotive vibe. I picked this up a couple years ago when I started modding as one of the cheapest Seiko 5s on Amazon. But over the years, third-party components have become really plentiful and high quality, and these older Seiko 5s are rising in value. Alas, those days are gone, but new old stock is around. It helps to keep an eye out because those prices are still going to fluctuate. While the classics like this lack some of the modern amenities of the new generation, they make up for it in spades just with the sheer character and variety of the models. Typically, I use camel to compare historic Amazon prices. In this case, data goes back to 2014. And if you look at this dip in 2018, our lowest price is $65 US. That's interesting to me because my watch's manufacturer actually dates to the same period. And it kind of indicates that this might be one of the last production runs, with another possibly in 2020. Our best price this year is $105, and that covers the Black Friday to Boxing Day sale season. I'm not sure which fool paid $185, but it is currently at just under $150. Nevertheless, that has more than doubled in 5 years, and we are talking about Seiko 5s here. Let's get started with dimensions because the Speed Racer is actually on the larger end of these classic 5s at 38.5 millimeters in diameter, so closer to modern sizing. The lug-to-lug is very easily worn at 44.5 millimeters, and it is only 10.5 millimeters thick, in part due to that low-profile Hardlex mineral crystal. Another bonus that is often overlooked is the 20 millimeter lug width, and that means that this one is going to fit a lot more of the straps that you probably have in the drawer, as opposed to most 5s which come with an 18 millimeter width. Because, let's face it, you will swap out this folded link bracelet. You can see how it's constructed there. Even though they are getting kind of retro cool, what always amazes me is the huge variety of these. So this one reminds me of a Speedmaster. Finally, we have a stamped clasp with the old logo. All right, give me a second to promote the channel. Quid pro quo, I ask you to subscribe and I'll let you in on a little secret. But did you know I do all of this on the Windows Video Editor? And those slides, yeah, I do that in Microsoft Paint. I'm not great with technology, but I knew that if this channel were to fail spectacularly, I could at least shift the watches on. So these reviews are a little janky. Help me get to 500 subs, and I promise it's only going to get more professional. Back to the dial. It's a unique color combination with some added political significance these days. It's a slightly brighter shade of blue than we might be used to on most watches, but that really matches the vibrancy of the yellow. My favorite part has to be the matching accents, like these little numerals on the 20-minute scale, and that super bright seconds hand. Also quite an interesting hour hand being this triangle that's just supported on those two posts. In my opinion, this is one of the better Seiko 5 cases. It's quite clever, if a bit cheeky. The only brushed surface is actually the top of the lugs, but they do a good job of balancing out the polished bezel, and it almost looks like a brushed case. The little brushing we do have is very professionally well done, very typical of Seiko. My main criticism would be that this bezel is just a tiny bit too wide visually. The tiny crown is something else to look out for. This was actually intended as a flex initially because a lot of markets this would have been their first automatic watch. Here, now that these are low-key collectible, it's just a bit annoying. Ooh, look, case back sticker. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So satisfying. You know the drill by now, no hacking or hand winding with the 7S26, but it is the father of both the 4R and the 6R series movements. And using this caseback serial number, I can date this watch to December of 2018. And just a side note, can you believe that was 5 years ago? Where did the time go? Okay, there's a lot going on with the color here, so I opted for a very simple black leather strap, this one from Red Star Watches. Once upon a time, you would go onto Amazon, you would search Seiko 5, do lowest price first, and the Snkk27 would be one of your choices. So at the very least, I'm hoping that the Speed Racers will be plentiful out there. Last question, do you like the Seiko 5 reviews? They're in the same price point, but a bit harder to find. So like, subscribe, comment, I'll take anything as a yes. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week.